Hello, sports fans. Hope you can hear me okay. I've got one of my 12 volt fans going. Just got home from work. It's about 5:30, and it is about 83 degrees out. Now, if I had been home today, probably would have had the AC running for a few hours, but I wasn't. I was in an air conditioned car, and Ninja fares well when I've got several windows open, so it's not like she got too hot. Anyway, I'm going to show you a fun, sarcasm there, DIY project that I've got to do, and I'll explain why. I come home from work, got the water pump off all day because I don't want Ninja to accidentally turn it on and have all my fresh water go into the gray water tank, so I've got it flipped on. All right, so the next thing is to get some water. Wait a minute, what's going on? Yep, that's right. Water pump is out. Now, the first thing you want to do is check your fuses. Well, none of these say water, so I'm assuming they're good. The next thing is you want to locate your water pump. Now, a couple YouTube videos I've watched laughingly say, turn on your water pump and listen for the sound of it. Well, that's great if it's like going bad. Mine's completely out, so there is no sound. So I highly recommend you know the location of your water pump before it goes out. Mine is conveniently located in this teeny tiny dark space. So I've got to take off the drawer. First thing you do is diagnose things. In the power line going to the water pump is a small, I think, 10 amp fuse. So I pulled that out, looked at it, looked good. I got my multimeter out. I checked the wires going into the fuse. They were hot. Coming out of the fuse, they were hot. And at the pump, it had power going into it. Again, you have to have the pump switch on so you can test that power. So I did confirm power is going to the pump, but no operating pump. So we're going to be putting in a new one today. Now, 50% of these pump locations are easy to get to behind maybe a big old cabinet thing that you could remove or something. And the other 50% are in super hard to find spots like this one. So, since I confirmed power was going to the pump is non-operational, I ordered a new pump, OEM. Exact brand, exact power in gallons per minute, which is, I think, 3.5 gallons per minute on the Shurflo Pentair pump. Anyway, I got another one online for $75. So now the trick is disconnect the power. Not that it has any wires going to it, but you need to do that to put in the new one. So disconnect the wires. Then you're going to disconnect the two hoses going into the pump, one going in, one coming out. And even though there's no pressure in the system, there's going to be some water. So I'm going to get a bowl and I'm going to get a towel and throw it back in that area. And then laying down, stretching my arms through that dark cabinet, I'm going to try to get to the pump. Disconnecting the wire should be simple. Disconnecting the hoses should be simple. And then it's a matter of getting the 4 mounting bolts out, or I should say mounting screws. And there's screws that go through the base of the water pump and actually has a little rubber grommet underneath, and that's to like reduce jarring as you're going down the roads in your RV. And again, getting an exact OEM replacement, everything's going to be exactly the same. So the most difficult part is just going to be getting to this, and I'm going to film as much as I can for you here. Don't mind my air fryer here. I made some chicken last night. Anyway, first thing you want to do is make sure you got the right pump. So again, this is an exact replacement Pentair Shurflo. Sorry, it's actually 3 gallons per minute. You see the model 4008-101-865. 12 volt, 7.5 amps max. You see the pressure of this is 55 psi, 3.7 bar. So you want to make sure this all matches, which I know it does. When you see that 55 psi, that's really what your RV's water lines were designed to handle. So if you're with city hookups at an RV park, you want to make sure you have your psi regulator going into the RV set at 55 psi so it doesn't go above that. Again, you've got an inlet and an outlet. You've got the 4 mounting places, and then you've got power wire. The red one goes there. And then you've got the ground wire. These are actually already stripped, which is nice. Now, most pumps like mine will have a mesh filter of the water going into the pump, so it strains it. Some of these you can buy with it. If not, no worries. I'm going to take that off the existing pump and I'll show you. And we're just going to connect it onto here and reuse it. So again, the overall process is pretty simple. It's just getting back in there to get to it is a pain. So let me get out my toolbox and we'll get going. One thing I forgot to mention is when I was checking the fuse, I realized if it's bad, I don't have any replacements. So for about $17, I got this one at Walmart. It's even got a handy dandy tester in here. And it's a variety of 5 amp, 10, 15, 20. I don't know. But always good to have extras on hand, which I did not, but I do now. So that kit came with this tester. You've got a variety of fuses. These are ATC. So I moved this little button to the ATC. And, well, let me turn it over so you can see put the fuse on there. Hey, it's green. It's a good fuse. Pretty cool tester that came with that kit. Okay, let's see what's in the dark hole. There she is. And right there is the filter screen I was telling you about that goes into the pump. But yeah, this is how much space I have. And it's on a lip here. Yeah, so this is a real pain. But like I said, going to remove that and that cap that's holding the power lines in. I'll double check and make sure the power to the pump is off. I'll get my bowl and my towel. Okay, I got my bowl that I'll have to hold down flat. Got the light there clipped in. Got my towel. I'm going to push underneath everything. I'm going to remove the bowl and put the towel underneath. And then let's get going. Now, normally the proper procedure is disconnect the wires. So I'm going to have to cut those. Because even though that looks like a little twisty cap, it's actually been crimped on there. So normally you cut that, you disconnect the water, then you take out the 4 screws holding the pump and take it out. I'm going opposite. I'm going to be taking out these 4 screws. I got one out already. And maybe that'll give me a little bit of leeway to pull the pump towards me and I'll have more room to work. I don't know how I thought about it, but since I can't see the screws, I got out my mirror. And now I could see the screw in the mirror to be able to put the screwdriver on that one. Should make it a little bit easier. Well, this one only had 3 screws in it, so that's interesting. Now that I got it off, I could move it a hair, but nope, gonna have to undo the wires and the hoses to pull it out. It's nice to have a good mini lake like that. So I undid the screen right there, and my bowl of water filled up. And that's because this is just continually draining from, there's the water tank. So that line is nice and low, and it's probably going to drain the entire tank out. So what I'm going to need to do is unscrew that and hold it up at a high level up here so it no longer continues to gravity feed and flood this entire compartment. All wires cut, hoses off. That one, since it's attached to the low part of the tank, is going to drain no matter how high I hold it up. So I was able to stuff the end of the towel in there after you could see it filled up my bowl, and it seems to have plugged it up for now. I've got the screen off of the intake side here, so I'm going to put this on the new one, get that one out. It is easy to move now, and I'll do the wiring on the new pump before and prepare these lines back here and get it all ready to be installed. Turns out there was a 4th screw, and that was the hardest one to get out. As you can see, it wouldn't even come out from here. Oh my gosh. Anyway, old pump out, ready for the new pump. Okay, so I thought there were little rubber grommets under the anchor here, but they're not. These are, as you could tell, the rubber itself on this one. So that makes life a little easier there. So I'm taking a little adult beverage break. Actually, I've got to talk to my supervisor about a couple things. So I verified the water is stopped up with that towel, and nothing's draining. And so next step is going to be hooking everything back up. But I wanted to jump in and say, this is why I keep extra gallons of water tucked away in my RV. I keep one in the bathroom and one in the cabinet above my bed. Because when you lose water, like I did about 3 days ago, I've got the gallon of water in the bathroom to fill up the toilet with water so that it's able to flush and pour a little water down there. And then also I've got water to brush my teeth, do some drinking water, and make ice cubes after I dump them out to make a nice cold adult beverage. So we'll get back to it right here in a second. But again, always keep a couple of bottles of extra water. See, you might think, well, Ralph, you've got those 4 6-gallon containers that you refill constantly and put in your RV and all that. Well, guess what? The day I got home from work, I dumped all those containers into the RV, filled the RV to the top, and that's when I came inside and found the water pump was dead. So I would have had to go into town to fill those up and bring them back. So I just busted into my emergency supply. No big deal. I'll replace those 2 gallons of water here at Walmart in a couple days, and that was enough to get me by for a few days. It's also lucky that I drive in the city most of the time all day long for work, and I'm able to use the restrooms all during the day in various grocery stores and convenience stores. So that helps the black tank not get filled as much and conserves water. Okay, I took pictures of this, but apparently they weren't good. I don't have any butt splices, so temporarily I'm going to do this. Twist these will come undone easy. And it did show that this thread goes to here. This goes to a gray wire, which the only gray wire is that one there. You can see is gray on half. And then I'm assuming this one goes to the negative. So we're going to give that a shot. Remember, take lots of pictures from angles and close-ups before you start any project. So again, I don't want twisty ties on these because with the rattle and vibration, they'll eventually come apart. So I'll do a crimp ones where it's like this, but you could crimp it and they'll stay on there for good. I did turn the water pump switch on for less than a second, and this did fire up. So I think we're good to go. I was hoping it was not some other major issue. So let's put this back in to the dark hole and get the water lines hooked up. Just 2 to go. Okay, so my little mini light died. So I'm using the phone light. I do have the pump wired in place, not screwed down. I do have on the right the discharge hose hooked up, and now I'm about to take the towel off of that and hook up the intake. Oh, it's gonna be a little wet around here, but we'll get it dried up and I'll show you what happens when we're done with the last hookup. Got that hooked to the strainer to the pump. So except the 4 mounting bolts and of course the permanent crimps here to be taken care of later, pretty good. Got a lot of water that came out here as I was hooking up that hose, but I'm going to get the towel in there and get it all situated. So let's give it a fire up. Pump on. I just heard it make noise as it primed. We're back in business. Time to clean up the water. Not even going to put it in the drawer because tomorrow I'll finish up screwing it in and everything. But as always, when I'm home, I leave my water pump on. Because if it's working properly, you will not hear it operate unless you open a faucet. So I get water on demand. If you're turning off your water pump all the time when you're inside, maybe you got a bad water pump. I mean, if you turn on your water pump and it's cycling on and off when you're not using your drains, using your water, you've got a water pump issue. So we're good. I can't believe I did it. I am going to go and relax. If you enjoyed this video or learned anything from it, please smash that thumbs up button. Really helps the channel. Also subscribe if you're not already subscribed so you get alerts anytime I post a new video. And go out there and be positive, be nice, be active.